Wednesday evening. How are you? This is Nancy coming to you from my Facebook page. So in this video, I am going to share with you my top tip for imposter syndrome, teaching yoga. So if you haven't met before, my name is Nancy and I coach people on creating their legacy on earth, especially using yoga as their main tool. And I help them along their whole personal growth journey and their career journey, from start sometimes all the way to, setting up their own studios, etc., etc. So if you're watching for the first time, hello, do pop in the chat. I just need to turn the comments on and tell me where you are. It's just gone 9:30, I believe, here in the UK. So are you ready for bed? If you are a regular, say hi anyway. And if you're watching the replay, #replay. Now, we've just come back from a 2-day trip to Wales, and my ear's partially blocked. So let me know if you can hear me, because I can't hear myself very well. But anyway, I'm jumping on here. So one of the things I think that a lot of us tend to perhaps have experienced in our life is this whole imposter syndrome. Now, it's a phrase that I believe that has crept into our vocabulary very much over the last year or two. That I feel like I'm an imposter doing what I do, that I don't feel that, I know enough, that there's an insecurity behind delivering what we deliver. And it's not just with yoga teaching, it's also right across the board. Zoe, that's you. And it's to do with teaching fitness classes, to do with teaching yoga. I know a lot of business people who also experience that when they start off, in business for the first time. Coaches, from anyone from business coaches through to life coaches, I think it's part of human nature that we experience this whole insecurity, like, I really don't know my shit, right? If you agree, put that in the chat, right? If you've ever experienced it yourself. Hey, Pam. Because I certainly have. And I will, be totally honest with you now. I still go through this feeling. Especially when I'm kind of stepping into a new place. Some of you know that we have Yoga Chu Valley, and when, we opened the studio, I'm like, what do I know about running a business and running a studio, and pull that back. When I launched teaching yoga classes in the Chu Valley in the village halls, I was like, what do I know about that? I knew I'd been teaching yoga already for a very long time, but I never ever taught in the community before. So I was like, what on earth do I know about that? The very first time I got up to start delivering, body balance initial training courses, and then subsequently the advanced training, and more recently with Les Mills qualifications coming on, going through that whole process of relearning how to assess people and stuff. And, we all go through it. And I think it's human nature, especially because we care about what we are doing. We care about the experience that we're offering. We care about the people at the end who are going to receive whatever service it is that we are offering, be it coaching, be it teaching yoga, right? And so the number one tip really for me to that helps kind of quelch that whole feeling, or at least numb it down a little bit, is, are you doing what you're teaching others to do? So what I mean by that, if I give you an example, is if I'm teaching yoga, then am I practicing yoga myself? Do you have your own self practice? You may, or maybe you go to a teacher, you participate in classes yourself still, right? My yoga teacher, when I was going through teacher training myself many, many years ago, he actually said the more you teach, the more you need to practice. And another teacher that I did a sort of a training intensive with, he used to do like, and he still probably does these days, like 3-hour yoga practices daily. Now, I don't have that time because I'm juggling different hats, right? I've got Les Mills, I've got the studio, I've got my kind of yoga training, the ambassadors, we have our Arbonne business. So I'm juggling lots, but still, I still have to ask myself, what am I doing with regards to my own yoga practice? I know for myself that the ability to do self-practice shifts depending on where I am in my life. And sometimes all I can actually physically manage to do as a yoga practice is 10 minutes of meditation every day. And that is okay. There is no, there is no need to feel pressure that you need to be doing a longer practice. Because for me, 10 minutes sitting meditation is better than not doing anything at all, because that is your yoga practice. It's your kind of yoga practice that is appropriate for that stage in your life. So, so we can all do something, some sort of practice on a daily basis. Personally, I find it's like with my fitness, I prefer to pay to go and see a personal trainer because then I'm held accountable. Plus, it just gets me out of the house. It's a change of scene. I don't need to think, right? I can just be told what to do. So that's what, I personally prefer to do. With my own yoga practice, I have just recently reached out to my yoga teacher who I did my yoga teacher training with. He wasn't taking anyone on over the last, since lockdown, understandably, because he's much older. But he said, oh, when things start to open up, reach out to me again. So I have, right, to be able to see him again. So, so you've got to do that. So if you're doing that, then you're walking the talk rather than just talking the talk. If you are, you're not doing yoga, you're teaching body balance. Are you then going to class yourself? Are you then perhaps going to yoga or Pilates classes yourself to participate in and to be taught for your own personal practice? When I used to teach, body combat, then I would do bag work. I would work with the boxing coach to improve my boxing technique. If I'm coaching people on their business, not just because I have a business, but I also still see business coaches so that I am then held as well, right? Because it's two things. One is, the whole idea, yes, I really do feel more of an imposter if I am getting up, let's say, and delivering a training course or delivering a Les Mills training module, Les Mills quarterly workshop, and I'm not actively teaching that program. So that when I stepped down from being a Les Mills tone trainer and presenter, I also stepped down from teaching regular classes. It was just difficult. It was a challenge getting classes at that particular moment in time. And it was just really down to the one, and it really didn't fit in. And one class a week was not enough for me, I believe, to be skilled enough to then share the program authentically, right? And so, for yourselves, just ask yourself this, are you making time to be a student yourself? And if you are, then that will really help for you to feel genuine, for you to feel comfortable, or as comfortable as you can be in your own skin. Because I say to you, like these things happen. But I will honestly say that when When I feel more insecure, that when I feel that I'm not being genuine and not being authentic, is because I'm not doing whatever it is I'm teaching, that I'm sharing. Yeah. So, if you're yoga, get on your mat, and, get to classes, go to classes, get a teacher. If you're teaching group fitness classes and you're watching this, then, what are you doing for that? If you're doing body pump, are you weight training yourself? Are you at least going to body pump classes yourself? If you don't have the time to get in the gym and push some weights, right? Or maybe you get a personal trainer once a month or something like that, just every so often, just to keep you accountable and give you something to perhaps work on when you have a second pair of eyes to look at you and your practice. Then you can come away with one thing that you can focus on, and you can do that yourself, and then after a month or so, I used to see my yoga teacher once a month. Yeah. And then the rest of the time it was self-practice. Then I'll go and see a teacher once a month and then self-practice, so that I could then go back and say that this is what I've been working on, and then they can pinpoint out the stuff. Or I might say that, I like to focus on this instead. It's just nice to have different ideas and a different viewpoint on things. Okay. So seeing different perspectives on teaching helps so much. Yeah, absolutely. But it also just your own personal practice. Yeah. I believe going to classes is great because you can always learn. I love learning from other presenters and other teachers, their styles and everything else. So we can learn on that level. But it's also really nice to be able to just switch off and be told what to do, and to actually just be a student and not just analyze it from like, oh, this is how I can teach and how I can, I love their teaching style. I love their language and how they phrase that. Yes, absolutely. Draw on that as well. But if you're going to enough classes, or if you're doing enough actual self practice to just be a student, get to know your body, get to know yourself and spend time with yourself, then, I believe this is the one, key tip that will help you with the whole imposter syndrome or feeling insecure or inauthentic. Is that a word? Inauthentic or unauthentic? Inauthentic? When you're actually doing whatever it is you are doing. Whatever it is you're doing. Okay, so that is my tip for my thoughts from my mat this Thursday. So I will catch you again next Thursday. So I'm here every Thursday night, sharing a thought from my mat. So, if you're watching this on the replay, #replay. If you found this useful, then just to comment or feel free to share. If you would like to spend some time, of self-practice for yourself on the mat with some other people and with myself, then I've got a weekend coming up next weekend, the 23rd and 24th of October. So if you'd like to find out information about that, then just drop me a message, or I'll put it in the link in the comments. If you're an ambassador, please use your discount, because you get a discount for doing the weekend. And you've done the weekend before, it's still useful to do it again, because it's you're revisiting stuff. And I think it's been nearly a year, 6 months at least, if not 9 months, the last time I actually ran this weekend, and things have shifted. So okay, so have you found that useful? And I'm gonna get ready for bed. Mr. Kim's already he's knackered. Didn't sleep very well last night. We were in Wales and we got up early and we drove all the way back. And he drove all the way back, and I just slept most of the way. So yeah, and he's got an early start tomorrow. So I'm just going to get ready. I'm teaching body balance in the morning. So hopefully see you, Zoe, in class tomorrow morning. And yeah, any questions, ask away. All right, I'll pop them in the comments and I will jump on here. Thank you so much for watching. Enjoy your evening.